biggest threat to your closing usually isn't the buyer, the seller, or even the bank. It's a surprise nobody knew was there. If you're buying or selling a home in the state of Connecticut and you're counting down the days to your closing, this applies directly to you. Ignoring this, and you could be losing money, delaying your closing, paying extra closing costs, or even, worst case, watching your entire closing fall apart just days before you're supposed to get the keys. Hi, I'm attorney Kishore Kapoor, a residential real estate closing attorney here in the state of Connecticut. Every day, I share real life stories about real clients from real closings so you can learn from their experiences and have a smooth and stress-free closing. I'll tell you two different stories today. One about a buyer and one about a seller. So we had a client buying a house, $500,000. It's a beautiful house. Everything was pristine. There was some new work done in the bathroom. The clients loved it, a giant soaker tub. I mean, it was beautiful. I'm envious. Everything was going smoothly. Inspection came back. There were some minor details, but every house in Connecticut has something. So my clients are like, not a big deal. We can deal with it. We're moving on. Mortgage gets approved. Hey, for once, it's not a title search issue, right? That's a little bit different. Title search comes back. There are no issues. It's clean. There's just a mortgage that's going to get paid off at closing. Nothing we really need to worry about. Building permit search came back and something was missing. Remember how I told you that a beautiful soaker tub was installed? Well, it was done without a building permit. Called the seller's attorney. Seller reached out to the seller. Seller's like, the contractor told me I didn't need to do it. Yeah, unfortunately, they tell you that often because most contractors don't want to pull permits, or most ones that aren't great, right? Great ones want you to pull them, but they didn't pull the building permit. Well, now we have a bathroom that's been remodeled without building permits. A couple of issues that come up there are your insurance company, if there's a flood, may not cover it. Town can come in after we close and tell you to rip it out because it's illegally built. And that's what it is, right? As much as people don't want to hear that, it's something that's been illegally done. If you modify your house without permission from the town, pulling the appropriate permits, depending on the category of things, but if it's a major plumbing, electrical, or structural issue, you need a permit. There are some other things, but call your local building department, and they'll give you an answer. But the bathroom was done without a permit, right? That's technically illegally built. We need to resolve that. So uh, here's the problem. The sellers were getting ready to pack when we discovered this issue. Buyers had already scheduled their movers. Things got delayed. It took a good month and a half to get resolved because now we need to go to the town, apply for a permit, get the permit approved, get the town to come out and do an inspection, and the town was backlogged, so it took them almost 6 weeks to get out there. So we closed 6 weeks later. Buyer was upset because they had to change their movers. Seller was upset because they were stuck in a house for longer than they wanted. It is a disaster. Building permits can be a huge benefit to you as a buyer, but it also could be a thorn in your side. So that is one of the places we see a lot of major delays. Now, let me tell you about a seller client we represented. We represented a seller. She was selling her home. Everything we thought was going smoothly, right? Title search came back, inspection. Oh, inspection starts first, right? Skip the head. Inspection is clean-ish. It was enough that the buyers didn't ask for anything. Mortgage company had given us our commitment. Title search came back, it was clean. One of the things people don't realize is that the day before closing or up to a week before closing, the mortgage company is going to pull your title again. And this client, she didn't think about that. So when they opened a new credit card to buy their new Raymore and Flanagan furniture, they didn't think twice. Well, that new furniture ended up causing a mess. So when we got to our commitment, it's the day before we're supposed to close, reach out to the seller's attorney and go, are we clear to close? Are we closing tomorrow? Crickets. I was like, okay, maybe it was just a busy day. Called them again the next morning, left a message, crickets again. Now I'm starting to get worried. We go off, we call, the agents, calling the lender, we're talking to everybody. We're going through this. Well, about 3 or 4 days later, we get a call from the buyer's attorney, and says, unfortunately, our client's loan is denied. We need to cancel the transaction. They opened a credit card, or a credit card popped on their credit report that the lender didn't know about. It puts them out of their debt to income ratio. Unfortunately, we can't close. It was really unfortunate for our client. They had filed the appropriate contingency commitment, so their deposit was safe, and unfortunately, there wasn't much we could do to keep the deposit. Client relisted the property. Right. So now they were planning for a 30-day close. Now it turned into a 60-day close, and they had planned to buy something out of state. Well, that becomes a problem, right? Because now that delayed things, and they're buying in a state where they're not as flexible as we are. So we were kind of pushing, goes through the process. They accepted another offer. That offer then said, we can do a 25-day close. The lender's guaranteeing it. Well, unfortunately, 25 days came and went. The closing got pushed to about 30 days. Now, for those 5 days, my seller client was extremely stressed because she had already put an offer on another house to buy in another state, and they weren't being as flexible as we were. Luckily, we closed on day 30. It all worked out. But the point is, it can be stressful, right? So if you are looking to buy or sell a house in Connecticut and you're looking for someone that's looking for problems before they become a closing disaster, give us a call. We'll be happy to help you through a closing and make sure it's smooth and as stress-free as possible. There's always going to be a little bit of stress, but we're going to try to avoid some of it. So I've got 5 lessons for you today. Lesson 1, always recommend your attorney to check title early. Now, the risk you run there is if the deal falls apart, you are responsible for the title search fee, right? It's a couple of $100 just so you have a bit of planning. But if you wait too long, it can delay your closing, possibly costing you more. So just understand that it is better to get the title search done early. It can help stop and avoid problems or give us time to solve them before you end up with an issue. Number 2, lenders have the right to request information all the way up until we get our clear to close. And sometimes they check credit. Sometimes they check if you're still employed. Sometimes they check if you have enough cash in your bank. Right? So while you're going through the process of purchasing a home, make sure you're looking for all those little things and you're making any major changes, whether it's a new job, whether it's opening a new credit card, whether it's spending some extra cash to pay down credit cards. Talk to your lender, talk to your attorney, talk to your realtor. We're your team. We're there to support you through the closing process. Okay. Number 3, um, don't make commitments early. Don't make, if you know you're going to close on a Thursday, don't schedule for the movers unless you absolutely have to on that Thursday. Schedule them for the Friday after. If you have contractors coming in, don't schedule them the day of closing. I would recommend for contractors, wait a week because things happen. You should not be, I know it's hard not to move and get excited about your move, but you shouldn't be scheduling your movers until you know everything is ready to go. Get your clear to close and then schedule them. Yes, I understand that is hard because now it might be a week delay, but we need to plan because I can't tell you how many closings get pushed back by a couple of days, a couple of weeks. I've even had some by a couple of months. So you want to make sure that you have enough time to move, but it's also you want to make sure you're not going to be stuck last minute calling the mover and saying, hey, I need you to move and change the move to next week, and they charge you a fee. And then work with an experienced closing attorney. Right? We can help identify issues and find issues, and more importantly, figure out ways to solve issues faster than somebody that doesn't have experience. Right? So you want somebody experienced, that's knowledgeable. Ask the question, how many closings are you doing? A month, a week, a year? Any of those intervals. That will tell you an idea of how much we do. You don't want somebody that tells you, yeah, I do 15 a month. That's not a lot. Right? You can't see that many issues in that time. So before you go, be sure to watch the next video that comes up on screen. We see a lot of closing issues. We see a lot of problems. And we're going to cut it there and step away. Before you go, watch this video. We handle thousands of real estate closings. No. Before you go, watch this video. We handle real estate closings every day. So we've seen just about everything. And the next video covers another real estate situation that can derail your closing and we tell you how to avoid it. And if you found these videos useful, please be sure to give us such a follow, because every day we share practical advice from a real estate attorney, me. Before you go, watch this video, because we handle real estate closings every day of the week. And we've seen just about everything. And our next video covers another real estate issue that can derail your closing. And the best part is we tell you how you can avoid it. If you found this information helpful, be sure to give us a follow, because every day we share practical advice from a real estate closing attorney, me.